Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Core Institute Info webinar. My name is Zaira Rasu. I am the director of the Institute, and I want to welcome Ilkay Altintes, the Chief Data Science Officer of the San Diego Supercomputer Center here at UCSD. She's going to get us started with this session.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to our info session on the Convergence Research Institute, shortly Core Institute. We are very happy to start this series this year with a first cohort of fellows. But before that, I'd like to explain to everyone what we mean by convergence research, what convergence research is, and how NSF interpreted this as a program. So when you think of research, there are multiple areas, from the disciplinary research to multidisciplinary and cross-disciplinary research, and they have different outcomes. Convergence research, in a way, is a step in that series where when you have cross-disciplinary collaborations and work, spending some of that activity to find and apply this research in a way that's relevant to a societal context. So in that sense, the way it's applied is different than the typical cross-disciplinary research activity by working with cross-disciplinary stakeholders to identify the possibilities and needs and come up with a solution to a challenge from that perspective. So it's equal parts research, equal parts science, equal parts technology, equal parts use-inspired work. And again, it's defined by the needs of a societal challenge and a problem. And it needs to be done through integration at the cross-sector, multidisciplinary, cross-disciplinary context from the beginning. And this concept brought with it, of course, its own paradigms and emerging areas of research. And we were happy to work on this for a number of years now. And now we are also applying it at the San Diego Supercomputer Center in the context of different Convergence Accelerator projects. These range from applications of bio and geoinformatics to different problems to capture, for instance, knowledge networks, the food insecurity, and things like multidisciplinary hazards. And NSF, the National Science Foundation, created a Convergence Accelerator program. And in this program, what they are doing since 2019 as an official National Science Foundation program under right now the NEED Technology, Innovation, and Partnerships division, they create tracks for different themes within convergence research areas and fund teams in that area to integrate communities in industry, academia, nonprofits, and government sectors, and many other communities of practice. And now these cohorts range from, they are identified by a letter acronym like track A, B, C, D, E. And from the first track, it's been around, for instance, future of work or knowledge networks. And the track D was for data and AI sharing. And how the program operates is they have phase 1 projects, and those phase 1 projects get funded into phase 2 in a way that makes them a cohort of projects that work on challenges in that particular area in different areas, in different societal problems. So track D was AI-driven innovation via data and model sharing. That's the theme of track D. And from phase 1 to phase 2, 6 projects advanced. And these projects, when you look at the basis of these projects, are all themed around solving climate-induced challenges and bringing that AI context into solving these problems. And Burn for 3D is the one that I'm the PI of, which is a partnership with many organizations and researchers and government collaborators. It's about leveraging data for optimizing a prescribed burn activity. Hydrogen is to develop AI-driven hydrologic scenarios for planning. And computing the biome is about bio threats. And if you look at, we have precision epidemiology on veterinarian or livestock space. There is a microgrid optimization or resilience planning project. And there's a project in polymer industry. So what we are learning from these projects is their methodology and how AI and data sharing can be applied to these different problems. But there's also a need at the way NSF organizes these projects is a cross-project sharing and integration. So cross-track integration project for this cohort is the Core Institute. So the goal here is to learn from these projects and create a training and fellowship program to understand how we can actually build on the impact of these different projects, learn from them, so we can solve new challenges. And Core Institute that you're going to hear about from Zaira in a minute is designed around this goal or objective of bringing new minds together and explaining them how these 6 projects in the first place came to being, what they've done, and the lessons learned from them. And also train our fellows in the area of convergence research, so we can maybe work together or catalyze the thoughts on new projects that can be solved in a similar fashion. Thank you. I'm now going to pass this mic to Zaira, so you can hear about the Convergence Institute and the application process.
Thank you, Ilkay. So, as Ilkay was saying, the Core Institute is the Track D's integration initiative, and our goal is to catalyze an impact network of researchers and practitioners that will collaborate on convergence research projects. So to this end, we have created the Core Fellows Program, which will provide participants with skill sets and networks to identify compelling problems and build convergence research solutions. One of our priorities here is that these research solutions are integrated into existing societal systems. So each year, the Institute will select different grand societal challenge to focus on. The focus of this year for the fellows will be climate-induced challenges and possible artificial intelligence solutions. Can you go to the next slide? So the program is structured in 2 phases. The first phase will happen during the spring of 2023, and it's a virtual bootcamp. So in this virtual bootcamp, selected fellows will work in a guided process of problem definition, solution ideation, and a creation of cross-sector disciplines. So the time commitment for this virtual bootcamp is of 30 hours, and this will be divided in 3 to 4 one-hour sessions per week. The sessions will be recorded, and a co-creation and ideation workshop per week. Then after this virtual bootcamp, a selected number of teams of fellows will participate in a summer incubator in person at UC San Diego. So during this in-person session, teams will be paired with mentors, and they will work on their proposals and or their prototypes of solutions. We have funds available to cover the selected applicants' trips, including their domestic travel and meals and lodging. So now I will talk on the next slide about the overview of the curriculum. So the first unit we will cover is how do we use artificial intelligence for climate-induced challenges and the relevance for these of having a responsible artificial intelligence approach, and what is the relevance and the use of data ecosystems for climate action. After we cover this unit, we're going to delve into the foundations of convergence research, And instructors are gonna talk about how to identify good use-inspired research problems that actually advance scientific discovery and innovation and result in projects that are sustainable long-term. And after this, the fellows will learn from the teams that Ilkay was describing and in the track B, the teams working on actual current convergence research projects fighting, tackling climate-induced challenges. The first of these case studies will be around wildfires and fighting wildfires with artificial intelligence. Fellows will learn about the use of fire science for fire management and wildfire behavior modeling, as well as the cyber infrastructure needs for developing artificial intelligence solutions that are scalable and currently applied for wildfire mitigation. In the second case study, the fellows will learn from the team working on the hydrogen project how advanced hydrologic models are currently being used for water management and developing community hydrologic modeling platforms. At the same time, they will understand the relevance of data and model sharing through artificial intelligence for integrated hydrologic models. After the fellows have understood real-life applications of artificial intelligence and how convergence research is not only the best, but a completely necessary approach for these projects, they will start working on the proposal ideation of their solutions. So they will start forming teams, and to help them work towards a very solid proposal, they will learn the basics of human-centered artificial intelligence. They will be paired with mentors that will provide feedback on the approach they're taking. And we will work on guided hands-on team breakout sessions during this week and the next week, which will be focused around pitch preparation, where to help them prepare for their pitch, they will learn about science communication for artificial intelligence research. And we also will conduct tool-specific lightning talks and workshops. So once the fellows have decided the tool they want to focus on, we will find the experts from our network that we will talk about in a minute, from our network that will conduct lightning talks to talk about how to create teams around that specific topic. And we will continue to work on the hands-on team breakout sessions. And so all of this curriculum has been put together and will be taught by an excellent network that we have at the Core Institute. And I will let Ilkay talk a little bit more about this network, and then I'll be back.
Thank you, Zaira. I think this is just a selection out of a list of colleagues we reach out to and who agreed to work with us on mentorship and also training sessions in the Core Institute program. And as you see from both the experience levels and the diversity of thought and expertise in the group, we are approaching this from the beginning as a multidisciplinary program, and we are trying to establish it in a way that our fellows can reach out to these senior colleagues from different areas of convergence research with questions and questions around both their area of expertise, but also about mentorship and some of the programs that they're working on. The way we will organize these sessions is an introductory session with the experts. So you can hear their points of view and get a chance to ask questions. And as the ideation sessions and the groups evolve, we will work with the groups to then form maybe mapping to the expertise of the network of instructors and mentors, so that we can pair some of them to work with you as their time allows. And I'd like to also point out that this is a group that is, in a way, in the best sense, limited in their expertise as well. And they have networks that they can help you to reach out to. So we are hoping this will catalyze and open doors for some of the projects in ways that are otherwise not possible. And as we go through the process and work with the groups forming after the ideation sessions. We will also personally work with you to enable some of the thoughts and asks from the groups in a way that respects their time and also enables our fellows to be effective in the problems they're solving. And I'd like to really thank the mentors and instructors who agreed so far for being open-minded to work with new groups like this. I think it tells about Convergence Research, how we should all be willing and collaborative in our thinking to work together. Thank you.
Thank you, Ilkay. So the expected outcomes of this program are, as hopefully we've been emphasizing throughout this session, and our disseminations material is an artificial intelligence solution to a climate-induced challenge. This can look like a proposal or a prototype or a mix of both. And of course, to do this and to really achieve our goal, we want to create really solid convergence research teams from people from different disciplines and sectors. And we will be providing long-term support from the core network, and we want to stay engaged with the different teams that are created throughout the fellowship. So then, can you go to the next slide? In terms of the application and selection process, as I mentioned earlier, we have two phases. For the first phase, the application is individual. If some of the application is online, maybe some of you have looked at it. It's just 5 short questions. And what we're looking for is people that are, we don't want people that are experts on everything. That's not, I mean, it's great if you are, but what we really want to is people that can show either relevant experience and or a well-defined interest in climate-induced challenges, artificial intelligence, data science, and or computer science, and last but not least, addressing the needs of vulnerable communities. And we are also interested in fellows that can show a real potential in developing creative approaches to tackling climate challenges, and that can contribute to multidisciplinary and multi-sector teams. So as I said, because we are very intentional about how we put together our cohort of fellows and how we create the teams, we are looking at a mix of these elements, and we will consider the applications holistically. For phase 2, the applications will be not individual, it will be a team pitch, and there will be a selection committee that will select 4 to 5 teams to come to an in-person session at UC San Diego in the Supercomputer Center, and we will share more details regarding what we will be looking for in a pitch during the bootcamp. As I said, we are very intentional about having a diverse cohort of fellows. So we're looking for researchers, AI experts and technologists, public policy professionals, legislators, staffers, and people from NGO, nonprofit, and industry sectors. So we are encouraging people from all of these different sectors to apply, and we will be open to exploring the different backgrounds and the contributions that people can bring to these convergence research teams. Can you go to the next slide, please? So to summarize and to wrap up, I will just walk you quickly through the fellows timeline. We are expecting the applications for the phase 1 by January 8th, and we will announce the selection committee decision by January 20th. Then the virtual bootcamp will happen in March and April, and then after that, 3 weeks after that, the teams will make their virtual pitch on the first week of May. We will announce the decisions of the selection committee for phase 2 by the end of May, on May 29. And then we will hold the in-person incubator in the second week of July, from the 10th to the 16th of July at UC San Diego. So now I will open the floor for questions, but also please know that you can email us anytime at coreinstitute@ucsd.edu, and we're more than happy to get in touch with you. So I'm seeing some of the questions. I will get to as many of them as I can. So one of the questions is if people need to be strong in all 3 of the areas, climate, AI, and communities. So to answer that, the answer is no, you don't have to be strong in all of those areas. So you could be either an AI expert, or you can be an expert in community development. but you have to show an interest in the areas where you are not an expert. So say that you're an expert in community development and you are part of a community that is really struggling with the effects of climate change. You have some ideas of approaches, and you have some ideas of artificial intelligence that could be used to it, but you're not an expert. You just have to define what drives you to working with a team that would work on an artificial intelligence solution for this, and what your contribution to the team will be. And so in this case, in this example, your contribution would be that you're an expert in community development, and that's what you would bring to developing this multi-sector, multidisciplinary approach. I will take some of the other questions. So one of the other questions is, okay, so how to pick a topic that is common among few people to form a team. So we will have, throughout the bootcamp, every week we'll have ideation and co-creation sessions. So in these sessions, people will identify other fellows with common interest, and people that find other fellows with common interests will form teams around those common interests. If it happens to be the case that your very specific interest is not represented with the other fellows, we will still be open to bringing in people that are not part of the bootcamp that will participate with you as a team, even though they are not fellows. So the teams can be composed of fellows and non-fellows, but we will ask everyone that form part of the team that wants to participate in the incubator to go through the bootcamp, so that they all have the background on the convergence research approach that we are really trying to promote and encourage here. Okay, so then another question is, how are you going to select the fellows to form the team? The teams are going to be self-formed. We're going to have these sessions where we help everyone get to know each other's strengths and interests, but the fellows will self-select to the teams. We're not going to create them, and also the topics are completely open. As I mentioned, the case studies we're going to be covering are around wildfires and hydrologic modeling, but the topic that the fellows choose can be anything related to artificial intelligence solutions to climate-induced challenges. So how many fellows will be selected in phase 1? We do not have a limit currently, but we do know that we want to have around 40 fellows for phase 2. So that's something to keep in mind. But at the moment, we don't have a limit for phase 1. Okay. So the outputs of the incubator. The outputs of the incubator can look at as a grant proposal or a prototype of a solution or a mix of both things. We are not limiting to a specific outcome. And another outcome is this long-term convergence research team that will continue to receive support and engagement from the network of experts that Ilkay went through in one of our slides. What happens after phase 2? Is the goal to set up the team and then go to apply for further external funding? Yes, you will receive support for applying for funding, either NSF or other institutions. We will be actively targeting different institutions that fund climate change research and or prototypes, and you will be working and mentored with people and researchers that have applied and successfully obtained funding for their projects. Okay, so what time of day might the 30 hours be held? So we have not yet defined the specific time. It is likely that it will be at noon Pacific Standard Time, but we have not defined it yet. One thing that I want to emphasize is that the sessions will be recorded. So whenever fellows are not able to attend every session, they can watch them online later. But we do want to encourage people to participate in the workshops and discussion sessions, in as many of them as possible, because that's how we are going to help you build your teams and work towards a common tool that you all want to work on. Okay, is ocean climate resilience a topic considered in this challenge? Absolutely, yes. We are not limiting the types of topics that we will cover. Are robotics-based solutions something that would be valuable to the program? My answer is yes, absolutely. I don't know if Ilkay wants to add anything there, but I think that's exactly the type of diverse approach that we're looking for.
We are not limiting the interpretation of AI or the problem space, as long as it's a climate-induced AI-driven challenge. So that's the beauty of it, that the teams can actually ideate and build on what they learned in the ways they see fit to solve the challenges and their interests. in this area.
Yes. Someone is asking if this talk is recorded. Yes, it will be recorded and we will make it available on our website. So anyone that missed part of it or just wants to watch it again because it's so fun, it will be available. Okay, if you are qualified enough, are undergraduate students eligible to apply? So I would that undergraduate students are not the main target of this program, but we're not close to exceptional qualified undergraduate students. So yes, you're definitely welcome to apply, and we will consider the application holistically. As I said, we will look at the answers, we look at your resume and your references. There will be a limited number of applicants from outside of the US that are accepted. We will not have funding, however, for the incubator for non-US applicants, but we are not closing at this moment the application process for non-US applicants. We will not be providing visa support for non-US participants. Okay. So unless Ilkay has anything else she would like to cover, I will, as I said, we are happy to answer the other questions via email, and all of our contact information is on our website as well. And this webinar will be made available. Yes, government employees are definitely eligible and encouraged to apply. We are really looking to having people from the public sector be part of this cohort.
So there's a question on the SDSC computing resources. I just noticed that we haven't seen before. The short answer is yes, definitely. We will find ways to provide and use the computational resources at SDSC and beyond with our partners. I think the nature of the projects will be the guide of that and the methods we follow to make that happen. But definitely, when needed, our goal is the teams will be self-dependent, right? That's not that's still the goal, but when possible and needed, SDSC computing resources can be used under the right allocation and protocols that our process allows. So the short answer is yes, but the details will be based on the project's needs.
Excellent. Okay, so and just one last question that I don't know if I got to or not is we're being asked if what is meant by long-term support. One of the main things is like you're going to be paired with mentors as a team, and this mentor and your team will have long-term engagement. And once you become a fellow, you're always a fellow, so you're always welcome to access our network of experts and ask for specific support when you're applying for a grant or developing a prototype. If you need feedback, that's the type of support we want to keep providing to all of our fellows. Excellent. So,
Zaira, there's two questions.
Sorry.
One is, I think, working on the project after the fellowship, what it means. Yes, I think this is something that in this first cohort we'll learn, but one of the goals here I want to point out is to create a network of researchers, like-minded researchers, to take these projects in directions that the project sort of guides. And the biggest part here is to apply a methodology to ideation and the first cut proposals and projects that could be created following the institute. But we are hoping in the long term, the fellows have a network that enables many solutions.
We have another question about the limits of the curriculum. We do not have a limit. You can upload a curriculum. If it's longer than 2 pages, you're welcome to upload that as well. We do have behavioral scientists. Well, we have a cognitive scientist for now. We're still expanding our network. Bradley Wojtek, he's going to be teaching one of our sessions, and he, depending, of course, on the team and the timeline, he will be also potentially mentoring some of the fellows. Will the fellows describe the project, or will the expert determine the project? So the fellows will determine the project that they want to work on, and we as an institute, we will find, as part of our network, experts and mentors that will work with you in your project. But you can define the project that you want to work on, and we're not limiting the type of topic that you can pursue, as long as it's of course artificial intelligence and climate-induced challenges. Okay. Okay. So if there's any questions we missed, can quantum machine learning be used? Absolutely. Yes. Okay, so we have hopefully answered all of the questions, but if there's anything that we missed, please send us an email. We're very responsive and we look forward to hearing from you. I will maybe leave a couple extra minutes if there are any additional questions, but for now we have hopefully covered most of them. Okay. Well, thank you everyone for participating. We look forward to hearing from you, and please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any additional questions. As I said, the webinar will be made available online. And we were very happy to have you here. And I think that will be all for today. Thank you.